Well, it's Dick here with today's LifeApp, and we're talking about relationships, how to prosper in relationships. You know, one of the things that I discovered a statistic a little while ago was that the primary reason, it resulted in 80% of the reason for people leaving their jobs turned out to be relationships. They couldn't get along with people at the workplace. Isn't that funny? It's not about the job, the pay, the other things. 80% of the turnover had to do with relationship conflict. You know, the Bible speaks so much about relationships. It's amazing. But I want to read this from, it's New King James here on my Bible app. And be kind to one another, tender-hearted, forgiving one another, even as God in Christ forgave you. Can you imagine a world or a church where this would happen consistently? It says kind, just kindness. Well, you know, I think as Christians we need to learn how to practice kindness. My goodness, you know, when Joan and I went through our situation 4 years ago, there were people that were so kind. Unfortunately, there were people that were so mean-spirited. And they were Christians, they were leaders. And, you know, I just don't know what to say, except all of us need to take, I guess, a lesson from that and think about this, how we can just learn to be more kind. And then it says tender-hearted. That means just open to that person. Tender-hearted, forgiving one another. You know, that's one thing that I said in a previous Life app a little while ago, that we need to, and I think it was a quote from the Message Bible, mend the fences quickly. We need to just be forgiving and look at resolving our conflicts and patching our differences. Forgiving one another, even as God in Christ forgave you. And you know, that's an important statement. When none of us can say we deserved forgiveness, but God gave it to us. And He not only gave it to us a little bit, He lavished it on us. We have no reason, therefore, to withhold it from anyone else. Let me just talk about what it means to really be tender-hearted, forgiving, and committed to one another. It means that we affirm one another. It means that we are available for one another. You know, when people call you and say, you know, I'm just going through a tough time, you say, well, let's go for a coffee, or just being available to listen to the phone conversation. It means prayer, praying for one another. Nothing is better in a marriage than hearing a couple pray for each other. It really does bring healing. Transparency. Transparency is into me you see, right? There's that intimacy. It's that you can see what I really am. And honesty. You know, I found this kind of surprising over the past 4 years, is that there are people that really, I didn't realize this, but in our journey prior to my revelation of my failure, there were people that, all kinds of people that just perpetrated to be our friends. But when the circumstances changed, suddenly we never heard from them again. And I was really surprised. I thought, my, they seemed so close and so loving and endeared to us. You know, I guess again, it's just a reflection of human nature, which is what these life apps are about. We have to rise above the human nature that we have and begin to tap into the nature of God. There's the covenant of sensitivity. We are committed to being sensitive to one another's needs, confidential with one another. You know, people that disclose confidentialities to you, are you faithful with that? And even accountable with one another. You know, telling people, listen, if you see me going off, would you speak into my life? What an amazing thing that is. You know that I have breakfast probably once or twice a month with the gentleman who you might recall having been on our programs years ago. His name was Graham Bretherk. He was a pastor. He's also a chartered psychologist. And we went through meeting with him 3 or 4 times a week, probably for about a year. And after that process, we said, you know, anybody would benefit from this kind of thing. Anyway, I just keep in touch with him and he with me, and we just talk about how things are going. It's just being accountable, and we have a friendship as well. Of course, we have him here on dickandjoan.com as well, because he is one of our favorites, Graham Bretherk, and you probably have heard of him many times because we speak of him. Well, today's Life app, let's learn how to walk relationally with each other as Ephesians 4:32 advocates. Let's be kind. Let's be tender-hearted. Let's be forgiving. Let's be committed to one another.